Good morning and welcome to the 78th edition of SKOCH Summit on State of Governance. We are in our 75th year of independence and have come a long way from eradicating polio by vaccinating for over 2 decades to administering nearly 2 billion doses of COVID vaccine in less than 8 months. It's a phenomenal achievement. You would remember from standing in a kerosene queue overnight to self-service portals, and that's the reality today. We do not have to exit the house to avail any kind of government services. At $3 trillion, we are the 5th largest economy in the world, poised to become 3rd largest by 2030. From where we were in 2020 with minus 23%, we have rebounded and is expected to register 8% plus growth for the current fiscal. Needless to say, fundamentals are strong. It's time to introspect what we have achieved, what opportunities we have lost, and how to harness and understand, and at the same time learn from those lessons as to what do we need to do moving forward. Digital India is one to witness $1 trillion digital economy, the pace of which has been super accelerated in the recent past. Payments, citizen services, taxes, fintechs, startups, applications, and so on. The list is endless. It is not the same as before. It is no more new. It is the normal. India is leading the creation of a new world order on the strength of its enterprises, small, medium, and large, that have shown confidence in the governance to exemplify the resilience of the Indian democracy that we are. Economic slowdown is a byproduct of any crisis, but jumping back, not limping back to normal, is an uphill task, and we have done it. The central government, the state government, cities, districts, civic bodies, and all other stakeholders have come together to maintain the momentum. It is this perseverance and performance, scrutiny and assessment that has become the essence of SKOCH State of Governance study annually since 2003 to create benchmark of excellence. It is the only study in India that is based on evidence and also looks at the outcomes and delivery, thereby having a lasting impact on boosting competitiveness and growth. The rankings are derived from outcome and evidence-based analysis of projects and programs shortlisted from across the country made by implementing agencies. Our experience has shown that owing to the widespread initiatives for growth, economic development, and innovative measures that have been taken across the country have made governance not only efficient, transparent, as well as speedy. SKOCH Parivar, of which you are all an integral part, is guided by our chairman, Mr. Sameer Kochar, reforms historian and author of Modinomics. So with this, I welcome you all once again. And we have in the inaugural session, 3 speakers. Mr. Subodh Yadav, Joint Secretary from Ministry of Shakti, has got engaged with some urgent occupation in the morning. And we have in his place, Dr. D. Gyanasundar, who is Senior Joint Commissioner, Department of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation from Ministry of Shakti. He's working on National Hydrology Project and has brought in some phenomenal changes in the water information management system in the country. He's also effectively contributing to the national level aquifer management program, which is guided by Mr. Subodh Yadav. With this, may I invite Mr. Gyanasundar.
Yeah, good morning to all the participants and thank you, SKOCH organizers. It's indeed a great pleasure to represent on behalf of our Joint Secretary, who is on an urgent meeting with the Secretary. So you are well aware of the National Hydrology Project, which is a central project under the Ministry of Water Resources, Government of India, that aims to transform the water resources sector in India. By establishing the real-time data acquisition system, we refer it as RTDAS, and Water Information Management System, we refer it as WIMS. These two are the 2 major components that we have evolved and developed under National Hydrology Project, wherein not only the central departments, all the states and the water resources departments in this country will be benefited by this National Hydrology Project. Let me just brief the need for this kind of a massive project, which is being implemented at the pan-India level. We are very much aware of the damages that is caused every year, including human loss, because of the flood inundation in this country, particularly in the northern part of this country. So therefore, it was required for us to enhance the flood forecasting system in a real-time basis by deploying equipments in this field that can capture the real-time water level, the reservoir data, as well as that can be used for the integrated reservoir operation to minimize the loss by the floods. The other important field that we need to address in this country is regarding the fast depleting groundwater resources in this entire country. We are very much aware that 80%, 60 to 80% of agriculture depends on groundwater. So therefore, these are the major crux that we require in this National Hydrology Project. We want to address the flood inundation as well as the groundwater decline across this country. So under National Hydrology Project, we had established a lot of hydro network stations, which we refer to as RTDAs, that shall capture the water level data of the rivers, reservoirs, the groundwater level, and as well as the rainfall. Also, all this data that has been collected in the field throughout this country shall be transformed to a central portal system, which we have developed under National Hydrology Project, which we call it as WIMS, that is Water Information Management System, wherein the data is stored and can be effectively disseminated to all the implementing agencies, that is states, and can be used for any other water resources schemes in this country. So this project is actually started in the year 2017, and this project is likely to end by March 2024. In fact, we have completed around 25 to 30% of this massive task. So if you understand, our primary objective is to basically capture the data on water resources and to improve the extent, its reliability and accessibility of the water resource information. Equally, we want to strengthen the targeted water resources institutions, both the state and the center across this country. So therefore, with this theme under NHP, we felt there's a need to focus on modernizing the monitoring mechanisms that can transmit data from the field across the country to central portal, that is WIMS, and translate the data as knowledge products for efficient management of water resources in this country. So we have a huge target of establishing around 22,000 odds hydro network stations in this country, where as surface water we shall be deploying around 5,830 number of stations, and for groundwater 16,541 number of stations. So this is a massive network of stations which was not earlier in this country, which is being massively with the support of all the states, which is being implemented across this country. And now, as I mentioned, the 25% of these stations has been established in this country. They have started to transmit data to the central portal, and these data are now being utilized by all the states, all the departments that are involved in surface and groundwater, not only to establish and manage the resources in this country, but also to specifically address the points which I have earlier mentioned, that is to address the real-time flood forecasting to minimize the loss related to the floods, as well as to address the depletion of groundwater in this country. I shall not take much time, but this project is of very prime importance because it's the first time in this country that a mature level project has been taken up at the pan-India level. Almost all the states, including the northeastern states, for the first time has been included in this project, where we have got the network stations throughout the northeast as well as the entire country. Let me briefly put the benefits of this important project, that is National Hydrology Project. We are very sure that for the sustainable management of the water resources in this country, which is the threat right now, we know that the freshwater resource is gradually decreasing, both surface and groundwater. And I'm sure this data, this water resource information, data which is available for us in this country at the central portal, can be accessed by all these central and state authorities, the district administrators across the state, the water managers, for them to monitor and manage the water resources basin-wise, aquifer-wise across this country. And I'm sure with the support of all the states, NHP shall complete this project by March 2024, wherein for the first time, all the water resource information data shall be available in the central portal WIMS, who are including the public and the farmers. They can access to it and get the information on the water resources for further planning in this country. I take this opportunity to thank the SKOCH for giving us the time to share what has been done under National Hydrology Project. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Gyanasundar. This is absolutely amazing, and particularly, to hear that the focus is on the northeastern region, because that's sometimes, always at the back of our mind. But having put it right up front and enabling the states, the districts, and creating a system of water managers, and particularly the hand holding and the capacity building, which is what is being done under this project, is really commendable. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
With this, I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Ashim Kumar Mahapatra, who is Engineer-in-Chief, Planning and Design, Department of Water Resources from Government of Orissa. He is a technocrat with a humanitarian touch, grossly involved in construction of dams and canal projects like Baranala, red irrigation projects, and distribution and maintenance of Goda, Hada, so on and so forth, and under rehabilitation and resettlement activities of the Upper Indravati hydroelectric project. Having successfully accomplished the ground spade work, devoted much of his technical acumen for realizing the projects and programs for the Department of Water Resources. Over to you, Mr. Ashim Kumar.
Thank you, SKOCH, and good morning to all the participants. It's a pleasure for me to be with this day and deliberate about the department. In the beginning, as we all know, the importance of the water in our lives. If we talk of Odisha, we are facing many cyclones, floods, droughts due to maybe climate change or geological location of the state. Odisha is facing disproportionate burden of weather miseries every year. Due to erratic rainfall, intensity-wise, density-wise, the department is planning different methods of conserving water, developing the water usage efficiency, augmenting irrigation coverage each year, covering more area for irrigation so that there will not be any shortage of food production, and also raising the socio-economic structure of the farmers, introducing advanced technologies in the construction sector for faster and resilient structures, introducing state-of-the-art IT systems for efficient monitoring and management of the systems and events. Now, in this agrarian state of Odisha, as ours, irrigation plays a significant role in poverty alleviation and economic growth. Development in the irrigation sector has been a high priority of the state government for several decades. The state has a cultivated land of about 62 lakh hectares, out of which we have covered about 44 lakh hectares and on plan for covering 50 lakh hectares within a year or two. Now, the department is coordinating with the district collectors. Actually, we had a number of stalled projects which are non-starters and which has stopped on the way due to some LA issues, RR issues. So, department is now coordinating with all the district collectors and DFOs of the district to push the project activities through periodic reviews and follow-up actions for completion of ongoing projects in those districts in a time-bound manner. This includes identifying and resolving major bottlenecks by the concerned line departments within a fixed duration of time, reviewing the progress of work fortnightly at district, department and state level, redressing the land acquisition and resettlement rehabilitation issues of the project, concerned by suitably rehabilitating the displaced persons of the project, including their temporary settlement. As a result, many ongoing projects where there were bottlenecks, they are now have achieved remarkably. In many upland areas, I'm talking about the upland areas which we cannot cover through regular irrigation, flow irrigation. So in many upland areas, the farmers are devoid of getting irrigation facilities. Therefore, we are introducing mega lift irrigation program, which was started by the government during 2011 and 12. It is the objective of this program is to provide supplementary irrigation to the farmers in the upland areas by lifting water from rivers, reservoirs, canals, and projects having irrigation command area within 500 to 2,000 hectares are proposed to be taken up under this scheme in cluster approach. This is augmented by new planning and construction of new minor irrigation projects, community lift irrigation projects, cluster lift irrigation projects, deep bore wells, etc., etc. So, we have created many acres, so we have to stabilize this acre. So for that, we are taking up plans for revival of defunct lift irrigation points, revival of defunct canal systems of minor irrigation sector, revival and extension of defunct canals under major and medium sector, stabilization of command area for climate resilient agriculture. Now, this is an agro-based irrigation scheme for stabilization of command areas. Now, we have another program for OPECRA. OPECRA, a climate resilient project in minor irrigation tanks, aims at increasing, diversifying, and improving agricultural production, fostering climate resilient agricultural practices, and improving water productivity and access to reliable irrigation. Now, after irrigation, the last point is the tail end. So for this we are developing this command area development and water management practices. And this is to ascertain that the irrigation water reaches to the tail end of a command through Karaka channels and being supported by an effective water management plan. Then comes how to conserve, how to use water efficiently. So we can literally we can say that water is finite, per capita water availability is decreasing over a period of time and continues to decrease further in coming years. Besides, climate change in recent years and its impact on water sector is a cause of concern. Therefore, enhancing water use efficiency in all sectors of water use, including irrigation, is the need of the hour. So for that, we are in the state has developed one scheme that is called canal lining scheme, lining of canals through CLSRP schemes, adoption of new technologies like geosynthetic material for canal lining, which saves time for construction and it's durable. Now, reaching the last mile of hydraulic connectivity is the 1 hectare chalk blocks. We don't have large blocks for chalk. Usually what happens in the older projects, we usually have 20 to 40 hectare blocks of chalk. Outlets will cover through flood. Through flooding, it will cover the acre. Now we have changed that approach and we are adopting now 1 hectare chalk blocks. That saves a lot of water. And also through megalith and underground pipeline system, we are using it pipe irrigation supply. This results in loss of water, results in very less loss of water and nearly 100% use. Now, to use all these robust technologies, we have to train the farmers. So, training the farmers and necessary to educate the running and maintaining the advanced irrigation systems. And for that, camps are organized in villages, pani panchayats, that is water users associations, to educate the farmers on water and crop management. This is an important activity for educating the farmers to adopt modern technologies for achieving higher production with regulated water supply. Now, we have to, I'm experiencing this climate change, floods, and also droughts. So we have to have some methods to conserve water and to recharge the groundwater during droughts. So we are constructing now in-stream storages. A new scheme, it is a new scheme that is an outlay of 11,700 crores to create large water bodies within the river embankment without causing any displacement of the people. The scheme has been named as construction of in-stream storage structures for implementation over a period of 6 years. That is started from 2019-20 to it will end at 2024-25, and we are adding also. It may continue after 2024-25. Now, as per the program of central government, we have Shakti Abhijan, and it is now actively participated by the block levels and district levels. This also covers the construction of in-stream storage for conservation of water and groundwater recharge through rainwater rooftop harvesting system and artificial recharge structures, augmentation of storage capacity, MIPs, minor irrigation, medium irrigation tanks, and tanks, improving water efficiency. Now we have the groundwater recharge shaft structures for constructing recharge shaft tanks. In tanks, surplus water can be recharged to groundwater. These are the most efficient and cost-effective structures to recharge the aquifers directly. Now, the main part of this state which is experiencing every year, that is the flood. Flood management and coastal protection. These are the two main aspects that we have to develop and also for safety of the inhabitants of the state. So for that, we have this method of pre-flood inspection of river and saline environments, flood management training and workshop, flood preparedness, functioning of flood control rooms and dissemination of information, flood management activities including flood forecasting and warning, real-time forecast system, flood control activities, drainage also. This ultimately the water will drain out to sea. So we have to have the clear drainage structures. So drainage congestion clearance, that is river mouth siltation is the main cause of flood inundation of floodplain. Those are to be cleared regularly in each year. Now, then comes the rehabilitation of dams. We have number of large dams, number of medium dams, small dams, covering about.
Mr. Mahapatra, may I request you to kindly sum up your comments in the.
Okay, then I'll come back to the IT interventions. We have this IT structure where we have interventions of modern technologies, modern state-of-the-art information technology for controlling of flood and managing of canal system, and also a thing called Mahapatra, that is my government. It is an initiative of government of Odisha to serve citizens with dignity and respect with all the will of the people. The core concept is good mannerism on the part of the officers bearing towards the citizen approaching for grievances. So, department connects to the public through Twitter, through Facebook, through print and electronic media for information and updated development works, projects, schemes for development of stakeholders, and gets feedback, suggestions which are promptly attended by the concerned officers. And thank you, SKOCH, for allowing me and bearing my talk. Thank you.
Mahapatra, this was absolutely phenomenal. Given the kind of work that has been done and the roadmap that you have talked about, this will definitely go a long way in boosting the agriculture production, because the focus on mega lift irrigation program, which is what you talked about, and the supplementary irrigation, which is likely to cover nearly 6,000 hectares of land, it will be boosted, along with the revival of the defunct canal system. So the irrigation problem in the nook and corner of the state is going to be taken care of to a great extent. And actually, all the efforts that you have taken is already started registering its results in the last 2 years. So with the enhanced water management practices, training the farmers on efficient usage, application of technology, most important. So, hopefully over the next couple of years, it will show the enhanced results much more than what has been expected. That's the wish. And congratulations for having put up a great work. Thank you very much. With this, I move on to invite Mr. Varun Kumar Mishra, who is Managing Director, Uttar Pradesh Cooperative Bank Limited. Engaged in the cooperative sector for years, he has contributed extensively to the warehousing, banking, and housing sector. He supervises the functioning of nearly 50 district cooperative banks and over 7,500 packs, and also acts as a balanced center of cooperative credit structure in Uttar Pradesh. This, I invite Mr. Mishra.
Sir. Good morning, SKOCH jury members and fellow participants. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Uttar Pradesh is one of the largest states of India. In three-type cooperative structure, here UPCB acts as apex bank, followed by 50 DCBs with 1,260 branches across 75 districts and 7,479 packs as last tier of cooperative structure. Packs acts as the backbone of cooperative structure, being directly connected to the farmers' community. The objective of project is to make packs act as BC with the use of micro ATM devices, provide banking services to farmers and rural pupils, promoting Digital India initiatives by promoting digital transactions, doorstep banking, making packs self-reliant by increasing earning sources. There are around 7,479 packs, out of which 7,740 are active packs in UP. Need of micro ATM to route all government schemes through packs, digital initiatives to reach rural India. We have challenged to implement this project. Challenges were deployment of these micro ATMs and make them live in the entire state, training of business correspondents and operational assistants. But we have done efforts and give solutions like micro ATMs pre-installed, ready-to-use devices, training and distribution of devices to the bank, BCs and DCBs head offices. There were some other challenges like lack of human resources and skilled resources. For this, we have done some efforts like using existing manpower, like our secretaries and accountants as business correspondents, wherever possible, appointing the new BCs. Micro ATM app is easy to use with set of instructions and manuals. Managing all the devices from single point, terminal management system at the UPCB data center, Lucknow, from where all the devices can be monitored and managed. Sir, I would like to number of transactions, 65,650 transactions and approximately like 48 crore. So these are our main focus, where our focus is basically rural people, rural areas, and provide them rural banking through micro ATMs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So in fact, it is prompting me to ask a question because packs, when we talk about, you seem to be having a good story. Generally, the packs all around the country have not had a very good recent past. So how have you kept these packs alive? So how do you engage? How do you do capacity building? How do you handhold?
So 2-3 things. One thing, banks connected with district cooperative banks, and banks work as a business correspondent of DCBs. We provided, as I told you, sir, that micro ATM app is used to use with setup of instructions, manuals, and using existing manpower of like secretaries and accountants. We appointed them as a BC, business correspondent, and some new BCs we have appointed. So through existing manpowers and equipped technologies in micro ATM, we empowered them to act as a BC and micro ATM used. We are using for deposits and electric bill. We are collecting such 4 or 5 works we are doing through micro ATMs through our BCs.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. It's quite an interesting story, on not only, see, we've been talking about financial inclusion, but, serving the folks in the agrarian sector and linking them with the credit and with an easy credit. And also, what's your recovery rate so far? How has it improved in the last few years?
Sir, just I told you that 48 crores. We have our transactions were 48 crores.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
It is very interesting that few months ago, our CM inaugurated in Gorakhpur, and he told us that this micro ATM can work in rural areas like Panchayat. We're establishing just so we told that this would work any type of work in rural areas as well as urban areas also.
Right.
Electric bill collection is an important work for us.
Excellent. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, with this, I thank our 3 speakers, Dr. Gyanasundar, Mr. Ashim Kumar Mahapatra, and Mr. Varun Kumar Mishra for joining us in this session. Thank you all once again.